Good afternoon, and I appreciate all the kind words that have given to me in the last 3 years. I can't exclude anybody. What I want to say right now is, the seal hunt, the whale hunt. What did they need inside of that? What did they need from the tusks? And some of what they did need, actually they did need in order for us to be alive on this planet. So we can't actually see the greater of the picture. And they will always deny it. Because we're made, the system needs to be, how can I say it? I don't even know how to say it. But irregardless, this is my biggest question. The sinkholes that we're getting and the railways that they rebuilt over the last few years, all, to me, have to do with something of a greater picture of energy that's being forced underneath the ground. I don't know how it works. Maybe there's stilts underneath the ground that have to be jolted by energies running on the train, metal on metal, heavy metal. They sang it in the songs. They talked about the Rocks. They talked about the Rolling Stones. They talked about the Beatles. They talked about the Monkees, only to lose everything in translation. I believe the sinkholes, which there's one right by me, they're not even fixing it. They're just letting it be. The construction in my area has never been like this, ever. And I notice, I'm on the road, and I take particular notice. Somehow my brain remembers. Can't remember half the things that went on in my life. In fact, there's so many things that haven't gone in my life, but people have put things into other people's head. Now there's stories going around that I did something that I never did. I sold a truck for some money to go to Las Vegas and gamble. I'm trying to figure out, if I deny it, they'll just tell me I'm denying it. So really what I try to ask them is I want to know more of the story, just to go along. What's the difference? You see the railway right here? You see the railway? The way it's pushed aside to the left and to the right? These two parts over here, I never saw it before. Imagine if the trains are actually there, but most of us don't understand the deeper sentence of what's going on with these trains. They need them to run because there's an energy underneath the ground. And I can be totally wrong, but guess what? This is not about being wrong. It's not exactly about being right. This is about guessing as many scenarios as you could, so the next time when you bump into part of that scenario, you might see the reality and the truth within it, or you might just throw it out. But if you never think of the possibility, then the possibility will never be there. It's my cat. My other cat. Not that cat, the other cat. This is the roulette wheel. Okay? 7 and 9 are red. 8 is black. So I go around with the black. I can trap the 9 against the 12. Then my whole board will tilt. You see the way 1, 5, and 3 come together, but we can't touch the 2? The 2 is whole. That's the beta diamond. The B world. You, sitting there in your bed, right now, leaning back, having your cigarette. You can... That's what they do to me. You can smoke that cigarette. It's not going to kill you. Because of what they did to the system and how they changed the cigarette tobacco is what kills you. It's not supposed to stick to your lungs the way it does. We have to cough in this world. It's like starting a car. Sometimes we have to cough. But because we have the element of the cigarette sitting on us, some people are going to be lucky and it won't sit on them. But this is my assumption, that they do this purposely in order for us to not to have the right vibration. They want us to go gambling, not really because they want all our money, but more because we lose our thought inside. Let's go play a game. You're figuring out how the game works, and you're not worrying about the other world. You're seeing a coincidence within the number that when you see it again, just a coincidence, right? Go to the left. X, V, VX, go to the left. Hold me up. Whoa, 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 whoa. talisman. You know where this comes from? This is your pool ball. These are inside the pool ball. If you slice off the top and you slice off the bottom, you end up with that inside. Do you know what's inside the talisman? This guy's squished in the center. I wanted to take back and show you what I was doing before. See the way 23, 22, Herbert Hoover, and 24, they stick together in here, but 23 is a little bit different. It's the closing off of the area. Do you see the way 25, 27, 23, it becomes the center of 19, 21, 25, and 27. 1, which is actually 7, 3, 7, 9. And I can bring you into the Mississippi and show you how the Mississippi connects to the Roths, the brothers. 23. Do you see the way this is going to be like this? I'm going to go around the 23. The same way I went around the 8 over here. I started by going around an 8, and I go around the 23, the two of them. That's right, recreate your 31. But it recreates it in black. 4, and 4 is 8. This becomes 8, this becomes 11. This is 8, and this is 11. Now, I'm not explaining to you. I do understand that I'm not explaining to you, okay? What I will show you is the 10 over here is black, the 8 is black, the 11 is black, and the 13 is black. This is Michael Jordan's number, and his initials add up to the same as the 10 and 13 that are here. This equals 7, this equals 4. This equals 7, this equals 4. 4, 7, 7, 4. 4, 7, 7, 4, if I remember correctly, is 62062 in moons, 808 bicycle cards. I have to study this more, and I have to study with people that ask questions that can take me on a different route. So when you take me on a different route, I can look over to the sides of the road and see new numbers inside the numbers. You see the way the numbers jack up? Grover Cleveland picks up to the top. It's like a jack on each side, splitting in the center. This, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21. This is the 16. It's the top of your keyboard to the right. This, not this one. Where is it? Let me look down on my keyboard. What's on the keyboard? The Q. Yes, 17 over here. These two next to each other, which is black and red, are the complete opposite on the top row of the keyboard. Top row of the keyboard, this is the only one that's not the top row. And everything else is the top row. Even the 16 at the complete to the right. What did I actually come in here to say? I actually came in here to say that the trains are causing a friction against the grounds, which are working against the wormholes. We must take and put more? No. We must take the trains off the track and have no reason to send the trains on the track. Once you have no reason to send the trains on the track, they're going to be looking for a new clue. Once they go out and look for the new clue, they're going to have to speed things up again because we moved them back. They must follow Matrix and Torah. It's part of the game. It's part of the rules. I don't know why. It just is. Well, it isn't at all, unless you believe it is. And I believe it is because I have to take a stance somewhere. And if it doesn't work, I'll take a stance another way. But this is the way I'm on right now. We need less people taking trains, more people driving cars, even if you don't want to. I'd say take the bus, but don't take a train. Take a plane, don't take a train. Don't take any trains. From the ocean. I only eat ocean food now. Why? Not sure. Here again is the roulette wheel. I designed it according to what they designed in their numbers and on the spinning wheel. I'm looking to see what else I can get. I'm not happy. I have so many things in front of me. Anyways, maybe we're going to end it right now. A&E, 15th letter O, says Ford 150. 1 and 5 equals 5 and 6 equals 21. A&E is 15. Separate them and add them together, 21U. If you add all the vowels up, it equals to 51. If you add all the letters up, it equals to 315, I think, but it constantly says ace, ace, ace. No, I'm not happy with this video. There's a lot of things. Here, you want to see Lucifer? 3339. The first numbers in pi is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. The second number in pi is 4. 3 by 4 is 12. 1 and 2 is 3. The third number is 1. 3 times 1 is 3. This is 9, but in pi it's not 9. In pi the next number is 6. In pi the next number after 6 is 9. It's reversed. Pi is these 3 numbers and these 2 reversed. How do I know? 3.1415. You have to multiply pi by 3 and 4. First 3, and then do the mathematician, add them up and see what you get. Because you don't have to add up much. Just go to every single letter and go 3 times this, add it to the single digit, 3 times that, add it to the single digit, and do it. And there's a formula that I have of where you put it all into tic-tac-toe, into formations of 9 at a time, and then you go into a master board of 36 at a time. And then if you want, you can go 72 at a time. And then after you go 72 at a time, then you can play the piano game with it by going A, B, C, mark the next one, D, D, E, F, G, mark the next one, B, C, D, mark the next one, and then bring it down. When you bring it down, it actually, the first 3 numbers in the piano say D, A, E, which is just like saying Judas and Jesus, because the difference between the letters between Judas and Jesus is D, A, and E. D is not in Jesus. E is not in Judas, but A is in Judas, but it's not in Jesus. Judas has an S, and Jesus has 2 S's for the spirit and soul. He was made here on this planet, and he was made more than one, that's for sure. I am so far behind that I'm sticking pages and pages of things I want to look at. The other thing I wanted to say is that, oh God, I wanted to say something. What was it? Yes, Rubik's Cube. For those of you who have seen already, but there's a design I designed on Rubik's Cube in which it turns into 1010 TV. That's exactly what it says. I take Rubik's Cube, I draw it in square letters, I cut it in half, it says 1010 TV, and the flip side says something else. I'm going to have to go through my books and look at it. Another thing we want to look at, okay, is the electric blue and how they tied these 2 worlds together inside the heart. See the way they hold the banisters on each side? And they've transferred the energy. They're reading the energy in matrix, what's going up and down. They've stretched it. That's why everything is fat, because it's been stretched, and it's also because it's eggs. Let me see. I wanted to see what I had here. We saw what this was, right? NFL football, 2 eyes looking at each other with a football in between. 9 is the football. 4, 1, 4 is the 9 card. Newfoundland, 5, 6, 3. 365 days a year. 365 days a year, NFL. What else do I have? News, 5557. The Mayans, 125. The 7th gate of the Mayans. 125 times 7 is 975, is that right? Does it come to 975 because it's a 9? 7 times 125 is 700. 875, 8, 7, and 5. That would be the spirit matrix, the silver spirit matrix, something to do inside with your water. Piano. We didn't do that yet. And I haven't even said, I should just cancel this whole video and then come back and tell you what I really wanted to say is that our train system, somehow I want to know what kind of tires they're working on. I want to know where they are according to the holes that are being caused right now, all the sinkholes. Where are the sinkholes, and what is their relationship towards the trains, the oceans, and the lake? Because this is purposely happening. This is not just a sinkhole. This is purposely happening. The same way they choose to put, oh no, we're not going to help you, we're not going to help you. 2 years later, let's help them. I mean, come on, you can't see the future? You can't read what's right and wrong, and it takes you 2 years to figure it out? It takes me 5 minutes to figure it out. Three, 4, 6, and 7. Why not 1? Because 1 is over here. 1776. Only over here. Why? What is this? You see the way we have a box here and a box here? Because this, Earth and Mars connect together, and these are the intermediate funnels. I do not know how they work. I don't know. I do know that we can flip everything upside down and completely eliminate. We can go 1, 2, 3. No, we can go 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 4, 5, and 1, 2, and 3. Just let's get rid of it. For me, I think the Earth is the body I'm in. I think Venus is the passage I came into this world. And I think Mercury is into my blood system. I think Mars is part of the captured you have of my mind, in which Trinity of Earth is in there, the cylindrical of water, in which helps the process of the thinking electricity within my mind. I think Jupiter is a cage in which Pluto lives as a dog, and we all enter like Walt Disney to have fun in the games. And I think Saturn is there to clean up the mess. I think Uranus is some sort of a laboratory. I think Neptune is just creating minds or moons. And Pluto, well, she's just hanging in. She's just who we are inside of the game. By the way, they just closed down a strip club near my house about 4 or 5 years ago. They opened up a dog pound. The phone number, creation of man, creation of Christ, 00666. The brooch, the mind. See the 4 corners? 4 corners of this circle. But all we see is 3 inside, because that's the way it works. Here we have the 4 sides, but you see inside over here, we're only going to work 3. Same thing with this. I can't explain it all. I just know what it does. You see the OXO? Because the brackets that's on the 9 and the 0 count a hell of a lot more for an X than any X you'll ever see. There was no X before there was the brackets. When 2 brackets, which protect the 2 cylinders side to side, create the X at the same time, when you look at it this way, it can look like an 8, it can look like an Aleph, it can look like an H, it can look like an I, it can look like the tail of a fish. Because the tail of a fish is the tale of a story that wasn't true. And there's 4 disciples that were fishermen, and I guarantee you only 1 story is true out of the 4. What did Judas Iracast do? I'm not sure. He wore the hard helmet on top of his head, because casse d'avant means to put something on top of your head. The other, how X holds up your 2 eyebrows, because we're stitched together. Where you see a crease later in life, it's because we're stitched together somehow. Heinz, H-N-I-Z, 858, matrix numbers, up and down, 5 and 8, 5 and 8, 5 and 8. Maybe a center world doesn't exist. Maybe it's only supposed to exist within our own mind, but somehow they spliced. I know they spliced one of the worlds. Somehow we're going to figure it out if somebody knows a little bit about DNA doctrine and the piano. Unless we can enter in all the other musical instruments, because somehow some equation will fit each and every instrument. Even the guitar, 5 string, 7 string. The guitar is GU instead of QU. And you know what the biggest word is? The digits. How they wanted to hide our fingers and hide our numbers in the same word, saying digit, the single digit. 8, 5, 9, 8. 8, 5, 9, 8. But when you take the 8 and you take the N, this is the 14th letter, A-D-N, and. So now you can say and or go hand just by these 2 letters over here. You can say eyes, E's and I's, because of this letter. But you can go 1 and 2, or you can go 9 and 2. Are we talking about Roman numerals? Did I turn it to the side? Did it say zin or nin or none? 8 times 3, 6 and 2 is 8. 6 times 2 is 12, 1 and 2 is 3. 8 by 3 is 24, to 24 hours in a day. 2 by 4, 2 plus 4 is 8 and 6. Man's heaven. It stands for the cat. 11 is spirit angel of man, which is mass, which is the end of Christ. You add them together, you get 35. 3 and 5 is 8 again. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 is 9. We have 8, 9, 9, 8. 9 times 8 is 72. 9 times 8 is 72. 9 and 8 is 17. 9 and 8 is 17. You get 89, 89. 8 and 9 is 17. 1 and 7 is 8. 8 and 9 is 17. 1 and 7 is 8. This is Hoover Dam. This is HNIZ. And the only people that can ever think of something so brilliant are the Germans. Only the Germans. So I'd like to know how the Germans were included in building Hoover Dam, and any equipment that came in that was German-like in Hoover Dam will only rectify a situation in my mind that 100% something's going down. And it has to go down, because this is the end. This is the way everybody's seen the end. Is it not? The end of what? The end of the greatest of all cycles, that we will see something that never, ever happened before within the books. Within the books. Something greater than the thought of Jesus. Something greater than the thought of Pestilites when Moses came around. Why? Because we're going to be alive to see it. And it's not going to be history. It's going to be the reality of the presence. We all know that west, when you take away the W in French, it says east. Does anybody want to know when zero time is? When you're at the top of the Twin Towers. XOX, 24th letter 6, 15th letter 6, 15th letter 6, 39, 39, 93, 93, Herbert Hoover. 49, 7, 7, 9, 7, 7, 9, 7, 7, 9. Rothschild, 7, 9, 8, 9, 7. The word it and it is. It is, well, it's ison. Is on. It is it? It is, it's on. Is, ison, right here. Why? Look at this. They go together. When you create this on this angle, you rebuild a new way of creating three-letter words, because you have, let's say you think a word of but, B-U-U, T-T-T, U-U. And since there's two sections of U-U's, now you can add the letter and find the vowel that goes along with it that matches. Oh, and there's only going to be one. And the totality of the word would be C for creation. Rothschild ends with 3 and 4. In fact, it ends with 9, 3, 4, which means the birth of man, the starting of what I think somehow. When I say your mind is Mars, because the two moons of Mars and the moon of Earth are working within one mind, your mind. How do you think they get inside your head? Not only through the vibrations, but somebody built this planet. See this over here? This to me says Judas. Either it's 10 that says Judas, but 10:21, 10:1, okay, or actually J-A-B-C. J-A-B-C to me says Judas, okay, because A plus B, B plus A. I mean, there's a lot of things you can do, so don't count me in for that one, right? And the last thing, I'm going to just back you up. This is in the Rothschild, okay, coat of arms, and there's a big penis inside of it. Don't think that you didn't see the penis. It's there. It's a very bad piece of artwork, and the rest of the coat of arms is all being red. That there's red in the front, the one guy in the front is completely covered up, and that's what they do to the horse's face most of the time. They cover it up for some reason because they get spooked. Raphael, 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. 11, Yogi Berra, Christ. Left, right. The dreidel, the deli, the dreidel. Where did Einstein come from? Well, look at dreidel right here. The deli is in the dreidel. I can't explain it. The dre for female right now, 4185. You see, I can't explain any of this. I'd have to sit down and really think. But this one here says king. King of the light. Electronic light. Division. The dog leg. The division of the light. Who divided the light? I don't know. The dart, the chandelier, the messages we get when we go to war, why things happen the way they do. This video sucks. Remember the trains? Remember the trains? And remember where the sinkholes are. Remember the trains because of the spikes that they had put into the ground. Remember the nails or the picks they had used to tie Jesus up to the cross. Because the only thing I think they ever did with Jesus is took a horseshoe and banged the horseshoe against his hand and studied it onto the piece of wood, cramping it together. Can't see any nails. I just can't see any nails. 2,000-year-old nails. I spent an hour trying to look for a nail online, how old the nails are, and nobody can give me the proper answer except for showing me something that exists already. Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Remember the sinkholes. Where, in which direction are they opening up? Follow the directions of all the sinkholes out there. We need to know what the trains are doing and what kind of wheels they're turning on the tracks. Which track is going slower than another track? Is there a reason for the speed being changed in one area to another area? What is the difference between this year and 5 years ago that the trains were on the track? We don't have to go so close, because if it doesn't show a distance in 5 years, well, the time they changed cars, and the time they changed new computers, and the time they changed everything else, something has to show up as an oddity. So they built the Odyssey, Raphael 7286 in the constellation of Pegasus. Why do I say Pegasus? Because this is where I believe that our real home is, somewhere in the constellation of Pegasus. I don't know how it's there or what it is, but all my work in the last 8 years dragged me out there. Not only that, I saw the lady from Columbia's pictures talking to me right in my face, and guess what? She didn't say a word.